Bonjour, mesdames et messieurs. Ça va aujourd'hui? Très bien, j'espère. J'espère? I think so. Please don't adjust your set. I'm having a little frongaise moment because it's finally time to get the Coco de Paimpol in the ground. Let me just show you. They're all sitting here ready and waiting. Oh, what a sight. Before I plant, I just thought I'd have a quick word about them because they were new to me last year and absolutely gorgeous, and they seem to cause quite a stir amongst everybody. So I know, for instance, that a lot of you guys wanted to try and get hold of some seed for this year and we're finding it really difficult. Let me just show you the seed, they're so beautiful. I was able to divvy some out, which I'll tell you about in a second. Look at this beautiful little seed. Is it picking up in the light? Little pearl. So this gorgeous little bean, Coco de Paimpol, it comes from France. It comes from the north, from the region of Brittany. They are nuts about it there, so much so that there are villages and towns throughout Brittany who, from the late summer into the early autumn during harvest time, they actually have festivals devoted to this little bean. It's really highly prized in a lot of French dishes. It actually has, and I can't remember the pronunciation, but an appellation contrôlée, is that right? Like you might think of for some of the wines. So basically it's a seal of approval that this is a regional speciality. So I can't really call mine Coco de Paimpol because I'm not growing them in Brittany, but they are Coco de Paimpol. The story of how I came to get them, I just love it, so I want to share it with you guys because, well, you all know how much I love seed sharing anyway. So basically last year, I think it was about the beginning of May, I was in one of my top beds on the plot sowing my chickpeas, and my dear friend Gary, who you guys hear me talking about a lot, I do mention him a lot because we're good friends, but he's the one person on this site who really knows his veg. He likes to experiment. He's got a really, really great work ethic when he's down here on the plot. He works really hard to maintain his plot, and has had times in his life where he's had to rely on it for his food. Self-employed. So yeah, there've been some lean times where they've had to rely on it. So he's often my go-to for advice. But what's lovely is he also comes to me. So over the years we chat about the veg, but we've developed a really lovely friendship so that we still talk for hours about the veggies, but we now share more personal stuff too, which is lovely. So there I am sowing my chickpeas, and Gary was sort of like, ooh, kind of thought about it but didn't think they would grow here. So I said, look, I've got a handful left over, have them, give them a go, stick them in an empty bed, give them a go. So he took them, that's great, and grew them and thoroughly enjoyed them. Anyway, a couple of days after that, he appeared on my plot with a big smirking grin and pulled out of his pocket this little teeny tiny packet with the words Coco de Paimpol written on it. I looked at them and I thought, well, they're obviously some sort of pea or bean. What are they? And he told me the story of how he came to have them. So we've got to go back in time now. So 7 years ago, his wife had gone on a holiday to France. It was one of these kind of culinary holidays where, you know, where you kind of spend the day or the morning learning new cooking techniques, trying new dishes, and then the afternoon, evening is spent wandering around the countryside, sitting by a pool, having a glass of something. Perfect holiday. And on her second day at this culinary school in some chateau, they made a sort of stew, soupy stew thing with the Coco de Paimpol. When it was cooked and they all tasted, she absolutely loved it, adored it, and then went on a bit of a mission to try and track down some seeds to bring home so that her husband Gary could grow them. She asked around, wasn't getting anywhere. And then one day, one afternoon when she was out and about, she saw them growing in someone's garden, ended up chatting up this gardener and managed to come away with 7 little seeds. 7 years ago, 7 little seeds. It sounds like some kind of Greek story, doesn't it? So she brought them back to London, Gary grew them on and has been growing them ever since. So last year, back to last year, he gave me this little packet with, I can't remember whether it was 10 or 12 seeds, but it was, oh, Bessie made me jump. Bessie's just cuddled me under my arm and now she's knocking the camera. Come here, sweets. She proper made me jump. Yeah, so I had these, let's say 10 seeds. When he gave them to me, I didn't have any space in the garden, but I thought, well, actually the broad beans will be coming out in 5 or 6 weeks, so I'll pop them into pots, sow them in pots, and then I can transfer them when the land becomes free, which it did. All 10 seeds came up, which is brilliant, so I planted them out, tended to them. I'm so distracted by this cat. She's about to go in the cold frame and cook herself. Don't go in there, sweet pea. And don't knock the camera. Oh, say hello to everyone. Yeah, so I grew them on and had my first harvest, and oh my goodness, they were love at first bite. Absolutely gorgeous bean. They're what's known as a demi-sec, which literally translates as half dry. So what I understand is they're not good for drying because once dried, even when reconstituted, the skins are quite tough. You can eat them when they're still a bit green. I tried a couple that way, but I waited until they were the creamy gorgeousness, and they were amazing. So what I did with my 10, I earmarked 2 of them just for seed saving. She's going to knock this camera over again, Bessie. Earmarked 2 of them purely for seed saving. Each plant was giving me between, I would say actually on average probably about 15 pods. Most pods, again, average was probably about 5 beans per pod. So from these 2 plants, I managed to save, I think it was something like 150, 160 seeds, which is fantastic. So I kept 50 back for myself, which you'll see in a second. I sowed the 50, 48 germinated, which is quite nice for me because it means 4 rows of 12. I like it to be even. But what was great was having this cat, bless her, because I managed to save so much seed, I was able to share it. So I had so many messages from people saying, please, can I have some of your seed, please, please, please. So the only way I could do it, the fairest way, was literally the first 10 people who asked for seed got seed. So I think I've sort of sent 10 packets of 10 seeds all over the world, and it's brilliant. I just love it. And on that note, because I'm sitting here in the legume bed, Bessie, come here. She's been a tinker. You can't even see her, can you? But she's crawling around my lap. Just looking at this legume bed today, and it's got a few squash in as well. It just fills me with so much joy because, I mean, in general for the garden this year, I've been able to sow so much more of my own saved seed this year, which this is my biggest saved seed year ever. but for the legume and the squash bed in particular, I'm just looking and, oops, the cat just hit the bucket. I think she's going to settle down now. I have got the seeds for the peas that my granddad always used to grow. I have got runner beans that my mum gave to me. I have got my gigantes, my great big Greek bean from a friend. I am looking at, dotted around, the squash that was sent to me by Michelle. Thank you so much. Out of this corner of my eye, I'm looking at the bed, which is going to be sorted out in the next couple of days, where my little climbing, little teeny tiny baby butternuts will go. And they came from Shannon in California, and they're particularly really important to me this year because they represent hope and optimism and regrowth, so they're really important. But as I look around, I just think it's like I can see my friends growing. It's so lovely. You know, when we sow our seeds, when we're sharing and sowing our seeds, for me, I always feel like I'm sowing so much more than just a veggie. I'm sowing my hope for that year. I'm sowing my optimism. I'm sowing my excitement. And this year more than ever, I'm sowing the seeds of friendship. Not just the friends who've given me seed, but I know that all over the world there are seeds being sown, and as they're going in the ground, someone's thinking, I'm so glad Vivi sent me these seeds. Could there be anything better? There's one seed I try never to sow. Sowing the seeds of doubt. Let's not have any doubt. Let's just sow those seeds of friendship. So I'm kind of hoping that when I go on my trip to France in a couple of weeks, I might be able to find something interesting to bring home. I'm fantasising about it every day now. But anyway, enough chit-chat. I need to get planting. I'm really behind with things because for the last 2 weeks, it's been really difficult to get here. It's suddenly gone really hot again, so I'm getting the cocos in because I can. Then I'm just sitting here next to the cold frame looking at all my squash, which are desperate to go in. So because I haven't managed to do the deck and fence, I'm actually thinking today, even though it's a scorcher, I'm probably going to just move the wood back to that area just so I can get the squash in, because obviously the plants are way more important than a deck and a fence for the committee. Yeah, but it's hot, so I'm going to go really nice and slowly. So I'm going to crack on with this lot. I'm going to say cheerio to you guys for now. But what I'll probably do is leave you with a lingering shot of me getting this lot in. Oh, I haven't shown you my plants, have I? Look, here's some of them. They've been quite happy to grow on in parts, so this is probably the way I'm going to... I did it last year, they worked. Did it this year, it looks like it's worked, so I'm going to carry on doing it this way. So whilst I get these in, you can enjoy a bit of sunshine and a bit of bird song. The law of sod. is drilling away, which was not the peaceful ending I was hoping for you guys. So I will bid you adieu, and I will see you really soon, I hope. Take care.